And then just one more topic before we get out, just because I sent in the private chat.
Oh, yeah.
ESPN reports Colts will likely trade or release Wentz at the start of the league year. Wow.
Is that like March 5th, March 6th?
Yeah, man, that's like next week. It's like next Thursday. Like,
I'm hearing it's the angry owner who's not letting the football people football. Because what? He was 27-7 touchdown interception ratio. He had like a 95-ish passer rating. He played terrible down the stretch, but I don't think when you give up a first for him, you cut bait this year, man.
Yeah, not that soon. I mean, I know that they blew it. They got blown out by the Jaguars. Obviously, you had the comeback game that wasn't against Baltimore on that Monday night game, if you remember. Or did they win that game? Did they beat Baltimore? No, they lost that game. They lost. Lamar.
Yeah.
Because Lamar threw for 400. It was his first 400 game, and he had like 4 incompletions or something. Something ridiculous. Like one of his best games of his career. But I just think that it's very interesting because I don't know who would trade for him. Like just off top of my head, I mean, I guess maybe Washington. I don't know. Like whoever came, because it's going to be.
Would you trade contracts that you don't like and not like us, for instance, right? Would we trade a Matt Ryan type quarterback for Carson Wentz? I know we won't. I know the Falcons won't. But I'm saying a team that's a little bit younger in their rebuild versus a team who feels like they're a quarterback away from making a deep run.
It's a fuck no for me. I mean, they would have to pay half. They would have to be paying almost all of Carson Wentz's salary when he comes here if we did that. Like, and I say that just because first of all, I don't want Carson Wentz. Even if we're going to be rebuilding, that's not who I want being the quarterback. But secondly, I could see a team like Indy being – I know last year before they got Carson Wentz, there was mummers of the Colts being interested in Matt Ryan because Matt can still play, and they have a good offensive line. And
a good running game.
Now we know they've got a great run game, and they've got solid receiving options. Good, solid defense. They had the number 1 defense in fantasy last year.
Or would you make like a Kirk Cousins move? Like
Wentz for Cousins? I
yeah.
Make that trade. The only team that could make a trade like that is if Russ forced his way out. And
Russ forced his way out of the future party.
I just don't know what's going to happen. And obviously the Texans wouldn't make that trade with you. So I just don't know where they would go from there. I guess it's kind of my thing. I know that there's not a quarterback in this draft that they could possibly want at 17, 18.
And if you want Wentz and you know that there's a good chance that they're going to cut him, why would you trade?
Well, now that this report's even come out, there is no value for him. Now you're just cutting him.
You're cutting him.
He's going to pass through waivers. Somebody will pick him up. A team that doesn't think that they have a chance at getting somebody, or a team that wants a transition. Like, let's say Rodgers says, I'm going to do one more year in Green Bay. Denver probably might be on line 1, for Carson, possibly. That could be I could see that. Like a team that's kind of left out in the dust, or who knows, Carolina's already paying a couple of different guys. Maybe they'll step up to the plate and fund this thing because we know Sam Darnold not it. So
Sam Darnold's a bad football player. He's a bad fucking football player.
Yes. You're spot on.
Josh Rosen can do what Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are doing right now. Just saying.
You're spot on. I mean, I don't know what – there would be a market for Wentz because it's not like he played terrible. Like, he wasn't god-awful, and he was actually relatively healthy this year. Like, except for coming into the season, but he did play week 1. He missed like a game maybe for COVID, and then maybe he had 1 week where he missed on injury. But he pretty much played all year. And so
and he has some good football skills.
And he's still young. He's not like he's old. Look, Kurt Warner, and I guess he's not a fair comparison, but Kurt Warner was great, right, in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he went to the Giants before Eli got there, has been, then revived his career in Arizona, I mean, these stories do happen. And like I said, Carson Wentz is probably 27, 28, maybe.
Yeah, he's a young guy. He's a little bit younger than I am. There was a post that I was looking for real quick, and I can't find it to save my life. Hey, real quick, did you hear Coach O on trying to recruit Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, he said something about his dad was in jail and that they were trying to switch his shit because he wanted to stay at home, close to his dad or in Texas, as close as he could be, so that his dad could watch him on TV. And then he said that they made a call to the prison trying to get that nigga transferred.
Wow. That shit is wild. Hey, here goes. Real
recruiting, though, by the way, to show that, man, look, we care enough. Like, you know what I mean about you.
Man, what would the prison's beef really be like?
Good question.
I mean, you really got to go in the transfer portal to leave prisons? Like, come on, man. Hey, listen to this. Bruce Arians, people may not like the overall record, but Blaine had 8 head coaches and 8 coordinators his first 8 years. Gabbert has never played with a team this good.
BA's got to shut the fuck up sometimes. I mean, and, you know, he's already kind of, I'm not going to say he's in hot water because of this AB thing. You know, you lost Brady. Now we're going to really see, because I know that he gets a lot of credit for that Colts year when Pagano went down with cancer, you know, because he won Coach of the Year. But now we're going to really get to see what type of coach BA is. And
I mean, he had his run in Arizona.
Yeah, but did he? I mean, Carson Palmer basically pulled a Kurt Warner. Let's call it what it is, because Carson Palmer was solid with the Bengals, and they had weapons around him there. But, like, in Arizona, he revived his career.
People said if Carson Palmer would have been with a stable franchise his entire career, he would have been a Hall of Famer.
He was good. I don't think he was ever great, and the Hall of Fame is reserved for great. It should be, at least.
And Eli Manning.
Yeah, you're gonna get crickets on that one for me. I guess I could see how he would get in. I wouldn't be pissed. I just don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't see how Eli gets in.
So you're not buying Blaine Gabbert?
No, not at all. Not at all. I tell you what, he's not either. He's pulling an Urban Meyer is what he's doing, saying that Gardner, you know, was QB1 and that this is a competition, that nobody had the job. And it's just like, okay, yep. I tell you what, we'll see come week 1, right? we'll see if he really means that. I mean, they haven't even gotten to the draft yet, and he's coming out saying this. Like, bro, let the league year end so that we can get on to the next first. Don't come out here and say that Blaine Gabbert could be. First of all, you're going to turn off your fan base. And, you know, and you guys they're still talented even without Brady, but you got to really turn off the fan base. People would much rather hear somebody say something about, you know, Jameis Winston is a free agent and he was here 2 years ago and already knows the offense. What do you think of him? They would much rather hear you say all options are on the table, including Jameis. I think that people would much rather hear that than for you to come out and say, I think that Blaine just hasn't been around the right people. You know?
You know, that's a good way to end it, man. It was good talking to you, dog.
Absolutely. Another fantastic show in the books.
All right, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
I'll talk to you in like 5 minutes in the group.
All right.
All right, dog.